Winter. One of the most incredible times of the year, really. Christmas, New Year, all of that. But for fragrance lovers such as myself, it's amazing. There's a lot of tells that winter is here, but one of the biggest ones is the trees. No leaves, they look bare, they look like skeletons. That's one of my favourite visuals of winter, and especially here in Britain. It looks so beautiful, so gothic. I've always loved that, and I've always wanted to capture that in one of these lists. So here we are, the splendour, the beauty of a cold, chilly winter. But with a cold, chilly winter, you're going to need warm, hot, bombastic fragrances, some that are sweet, some that are harsh, some that are edgy, some that are smoky. And have I got a top 10 for you? Let's waste no time. I hope that you love this list as much as I loved compiling it. Let's start with number 10.
Are you making this magic? No, you are.
For ages, I've been talking about Absolute and how much I loved it and how much I proclaimed it to be the quintessential designer for the modern man. This is all of that, but with a really bitter beginning with dark cocoa and coffee. This really cuts through the cold because of the fact that it's got this biting, bitter, dark cocoa coffee combination with a hint of fruits and leather. And as much as I love the Absolute version, what I'm starting to realize is that this is fantastic for winter. Absolute is fantastic for autumn and early winter. But if you're in really cold climates and you want that scent DNA, but you want it to be able to contend with that extreme cold weather and just a really cracking designer fragrance, then you've got to investigate the scent Private Accord. Number 9 is an old favourite. It's really fallen from grace. This is Fève Délicieuse by Christian Dior, but I've had it for so long that it looks as though it says Christian Diop. Don't worry, it's not a fake. I've had it for such a long time, it's become a classic in my collection. But is it discontinued? Is it not discontinued? I don't know, I never know. It's got this praline bitterness, but nowhere near as bitter as Hugo Boss Private Accord. No, this is a beautiful, luscious, creamy, chocolatey fragrance with some pralines, with some vanilla. It's amazing, and the quality is absolutely outstanding. It's out of this world. If you're somebody who loves those cocoa, chocolate, vanilla fragrances, anything that's to do with desserts, you've got to check this out. It's still an essential fragrance. This is Galleria Perfumes. This is Victorian tobacco. Unfortunately, there's a stigma because it's by Ashton, it's by Gent Sense, it's by a YouTuber, and that stigma has to be sort of addressed, I think, soon, and it needs to be talked about, and it needs to be talked about in a balanced way. Why I love this so much is that this is a fragrance that I've been waiting for a little while. Have you ever had those alcoholic chocolates that you get at Christmas time? Sometimes they have whiskey in them or rum. That's what this actually smells like. I was very surprised. I was expecting tobacco, and especially with the Victorian name, I was expecting a very, very smoky tobacco, but I don't really get that. I get a hint of tobacco, but what I really get is this boozy chocolate dessert, and it's really thick and rich. There's some problems with it. There's some issues I have with it, and I have some issues with some of the other Galleria perfumes as well, but this is the closest thing that I've ever smelt to that sensation, to that experience, and that, along with the monstrous performance with both in projection longevity, I like it, and I've been wearing it a lot this winter because it has that sort of nostalgic connotation of those classic winter desserts. Number 7 is a fragrance that I didn't think would be in a winter list or sort of a seasonal list because it's a very, very difficult fragrance to wear. One of the most challenging fragrances that you could ever wear. But I've just been rocking it and enjoying it, and in the really harsh, cold winter days, this is amazing. And not just that, but I've been doing a lot with designers at the moment, so I've wanted to wear something very challenging, wear something that is completely sort of outrageous. You know, when I smell this, I always think of the review that I did. We did it in this huge abandoned cathedral, Catholic University monastery, and as soon as I smell it, I still remember me, Rick and Charlotte running through the corridors of that place. So this smells like greenery and soil, wet green soil with some cashmere in, which is a very unusual choice. This is bold, this is brazen, this is an emotional fragrance for me. It really takes me on one hell of a ride. And I love Reneir's work, as everybody knows, but this is a bit of a sleeper hit. As mad as that sounds, please go and watch the review, that'll give you the full story. This is incredibly striking and something that is so unique in my collection. I've never really smelled anything like it. It's powerful, and it's like the power of the earth within your hands. So now we come to number 6. This is 1 Million Privé. I mentioned recently that this is my favourite designer fragrance that I've been wearing, and that is actually true. Especially in this month of January, I've really enjoyed wearing it, but I've worn it mostly indoors. It's not an all-rounder for winter, that's absolutely certain. It's got a tobacco and fruity ensemble, which reminds me somewhat of Angel Men's Pure Havane, but Pure Havane is quite thin, and that tar note in Angel Men sort of takes away all of the potential juiciness and richness and makes it very sort of white and clean and clear. 1 Million Privé doesn't do that. It uses the fruity accords that 1 Million is known for at full force. Number 5 is, of course, Spice Bomb Extreme. What a Christmassy scent. I can't wear Tobacco Vanille at the moment. Tobacco Vanille is at my mum and dad's house, and of course I can't visit them at the moment because of the current situation. So this was my Christmas scent this year, and it was a fantastic alternative to Tobacco Vanille. It has very similar notes. It has, of course, tobacco, it has vanilla, it has cinnamon, but it uses the sort of allspice from Spice Bomb that is very wild and very sort of cutting, interlaced with all of the warmth and the sort of gourmand features of this one. This is so easy to wear, especially when it's really cold, such as today, and it just cuts through the cold very well, and it warms you up very proficiently.
Are you making this magic? No, you are.
Number 4, we're done with SM Cafe for this year. No, we're going to be talking about this one. This is from Strangers. I'm going to have to read it out because it's a very long name. Roasted coffee, cigarette whiskey, come and get your suede honey, baby. This is a real orchestral number of a lot of notes, and I think that Prin's sort of abilities are just getting better and better because he's managing to get a lot of very heavy notes into one fragrance very proficiently and with balance that not many perfumiers should even be able to have. This has got that roasted coffee note. It's also got tobacco, but the main thing that I get from this is that this is like a salted caramel mocha, and that salted caramel is definitely in the spotlight. It does have a saltiness, it does have an abrasiveness. It's like coffee and aged tree bark just combined together with tobacco and whiskey and other sweet elements. It's a gourmand funfair with a lot of edge. Number 3 is Happy Land's Amberland. Wonderful, just a genuinely wonderful, brilliant fragrance. I've been talking about this on and off for a little bit now, and how I summed it up last time in my autumn list. This is done far better in my winter list, however, because this really is good for cold weather, and this is really good for frosty days. Just a great title, Amberland. It's all of the different facets, all of the different locations, all of the different territories of amber. You have that sandy amber that is known in things like some of Andy Tauer's most famous work, like the Tauerville Rose Flash, Amber Flash, Vanilla Flash especially, and of course L'Air de Desert Marocain. But it also has the sweetened, sort of fruity amber that is also known in fragrances like Ombre Nuit, and it also has the harshness of something like Amber Absolute by Tom Ford. So there's a lot of different ideas and a lot of different territories of amber put into one fragrance. So in that way, the title Amberland is perfect because it is the ultimate amber vacation. My number 2 winter fragrance for 2021 is most definitely A City on Fire. It smells like so many things. It smells, of course, like a burning match and the barbecue smell, but it smells as though you've had a barbecue at like a music festival or at Burning Man. I've never been to Burning Man, always wanted to go. That would be this would be quite a fragrance to wear at Burning Man because it is a city on fire. It's a fire or a barbecue in somewhere that's already hot, and you're sweating and the sun is shining. It's quite something. As it dries down, that burning barbecue fuel smell really smoothens out, and what I get is beautiful, fruity musk with some cedar oil. And that is, to me, actually kind of sexy. It's difficult to kind of explain, but there's something that is very sweet, but yet so masculine and fiery and woody. And so it's got a lot of great connotations for things that I love. I love going out camping. I love campfires and barbecues and things of that nature. So it's got all of that wrapped into one thing. But it's also got this kind of fruity tone near the end, which makes it so that it doesn't just smell ridiculous. But be warned, the opening of this fragrance is incredibly difficult to stomach. But if you're patient with it, then it will reward you with some sweet, incredibly sensual yet musky tone smell at the end, which is quite difficult to describe, but I'm kind of grateful that it's difficult to describe in one way. It makes it unique and it makes it very special.
Are you making this magic? No, you are we? I'll learn. It's absolutely
But my number 1, for some of you, may have been obvious. You may have seen this coming. What has been my number 1 recommendation for you for 2021 winter? Well, it's got to be Atkinson's His Majesty the Oud. This is exactly where I want to be in my fragrance journey right now. I have worn this so much and I have loved it. The thing about it is that it has all of my bases covered. It has the soft amber vanilla, but it also has the harder edge that I've enjoyed in some of the fragrances that you've seen today, like A City on Fire. I love both of those worlds in winter fragrances. The harsh, heady, wood, bark-like, set on fire smell, and the soft, vanilla, sweet amber that I love in fragrances such as Fève Délicieuse. You put all of that together, you get this. This is a Goliath of a fragrance. This is a Herculean effort of a fragrance. It is a privilege to own a full bottle of this. I've loved it, I've enjoyed it, and it truly has encapsulated what I have enjoyed of my winter fragrances this year. It's fantastic, and I would truly recommend that you check this out. It's fantastic. What more needs to be said? I hope you've had a fantastic winter, and I hope that you've had a great fragrance journey. Winter could be a magical time of year, not just because of family and connection and love, but also because of fragrances. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this content, please consider liking this video, leaving a comment and subscribing. And in the comments, tell me, what winter fragrances have you been smelling this season? I'm the Fragrance Apprentice. I'll see you soon. Bye.